Now, ladies, hello, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me for this session. This is the fifth session in the Career by Design series. This one is about branding and career visibility, crafting your professional identity. This meeting is recorded, as you have noticed, and it will be the recording will be available right after the session. Okay. Now let me go to the. For those of you who don't know me, I usually start with this slide just to briefly give you an overview of why am I talking, who is she, and why is she talking about this particular subject and career management as such. Isabella Kramasz is my name. I'm a career coach and business transformation consultant. I have spent more than I want to acknowledge years in the corporate world, in finance and strategy at top financial institutions globally. I have an expertise in leadership, finance, strategy, change, mergers and acquisitions, and more. I have pivoted to coaching and business consulting, something that I have been doing anyway as a part of my corporate roles. But now it's my full-time job. And I'm especially very, very passionate about helping women, high achievers, to make the next step in their career, because I know that it's still much harder for women to climb the corporate ladder. And because I've been there and I've done it, now I'm paying it forward and helping others to hopefully get some shortcuts and advance in their career faster. Now, that's about me. So what I'm doing on LinkedIn is a part of my program, which is called Career by Design, as opposed to Career by Default. I'm a believer in crafting your career proactively, because I know that if we don't ourselves, it will happen anyway. So that's the name of the series, Crafting Your Dream Career Strategically. Can I please ask people to mute themselves? Yeah, thank you. I'm hosting those meetings on LinkedIn weekly, every Wednesday at 12 p.m. UK, 1 p.m. Central European Time. It's a series which consists of 13 meetings altogether. Today we are in the fifth one. They are all about career management, especially dedicated for high achieving women in the corporate world, for them to empower their career journey and achieve long-term success and fulfillment. So I do invite you to join the community and participate in our meetings on a weekly basis, because the topics are all related. And I will be coming back while talking through the presentation today. I will be coming back to previous topics and looping them in, because they all go together. Okay, that's the last slide about Career by Design, a proactive approach where you take charge of your professional journey and design a fulfilling career that aligns with your passion, skills, and values. This is what I'm really, really passionate about. Please do take control of your career and don't let others do that. Today, we're talking about personal branding and career visibility, crafting your professional identity. A very, very important subject, a little bit woolly as well, because it's very difficult to put a finger on it and very difficult sometimes to really figure out what personal branding means, especially in the corporate world, especially in the professional context. Not long ago, branding was specific and well understood in the context of companies rather than people, but now it's more and more related to individuals as well, and especially in the career context. So I will try and explain today why, how to go about it, how to craft your personal brand for your career success, what to do not. And I will give also a couple of actionable steps so that you can leave from this meeting knowing what to do next. Okay, so let me make a start and ask you this really Obvious question. Like, do you want to elevate your career to the next level? Do you want to attract leadership opportunities and recognition? And do you want to become a force to be reckoned with in your industry? And these are all theoretical questions, I would say, because who doesn't? And I guess because you are here at this meeting, advancing in your career is important for you. There is a reason why you have chosen to spend an entire hour with me today. And I'm really, really grateful and very, very happy, because I think it's very, very important that we do invest in ourselves, and investing is, of course, knowledge and time. So what is personal branding? And I forgot to mention, if anybody has any questions, or you don't agree, or you disagree, or you agree and you want to comment, please let me know. Just interrupt me and let me know. What is personal branding? I said at the very beginning that it sounds woolly and not everyone understands it. And some people say, like, personal branding, what do you mean? It's another buzzword. It isn't. It isn't. It's your, in simple terms, it's your professional reputation managed strategically, or not managed. That's the point. It goes well beyond your CV, resume, your official documents. It is all about your story, who you are, and your value proposition. What makes you different from others? That's your personal brand. That's all about many, many things all together: your skills, experience, personality, values, and more. Do remember, we will talk about it a lot today. Perception matters. Your brand shapes how others see you professionally, no matter if you like it or not. Personal branding helps you connect and build trust, because a strong brand fosters connections. And of course, trust across the industry, within your own company and below, if you have a strong personal brand and you're known for something special. Now, so why is it important for your career? Let's unpack it. Having a strong personal brand means you stand out and get noticed. This increases your visibility in this crowded job market. You are not another person who works in this company. You are bringing a specific value, and this is what you are known for. It helps you establish an expert status, credibility as a thought leader. Of course, once you have a strong personal brand and you're recognized and you're visible, you can secure more interviews and open more doors to new opportunities. And I will show you later on how. You have a competitive edge. You differentiate yourself from the crowd, because we all know not everyone has a good personal brand. You can negotiate with power, command respect, and influence your salary and projects if you have something to offer and if you can communicate it clearly. And of course, career advancement is all what we all want at some point in our careers. Position ourselves for leadership roles. That's what's important. So I just want to convince you. I know you are already convinced since you are at this meeting, but do remember, this is what your personal brand can help you achieve. And this is how personal brand can help you beyond your content knowledge. Because remember from our previous meetings, at some point in your career, at some level of the organization, it's not so much about how much you know, what you are good at. It's much more about the perception, about your brand, and about how others see you or not as a leader. Yes, your personal brand. The bad news is it's already defined, whether you want it or not, whether you know it or not, and whether you know what it is or not. It is defined because it's not what you think about yourself, it's what others think of you. Good news is you can shape it. So although it already exists, Like I was told the other day, like that we all should be Googling ourselves and checking ourselves on the internet very, very regularly. What comes up? What comes up when we key in our name into Google? What comes up first? Do you like it? Is this how you want to be seen? This is how your perception, where your perception about you starts. Or ask your colleagues, friends, ask about 360, ask about other type of feedback, and then you will know what is your personal brand. But you can shape it. So the power of your perception is very, very important because it's shaping your brand. And I will be talking about an executive brand, a personal brand. To my understanding, this context is that it's one and the same when we are talking about career. We already said that it shapes career opportunities, network, and overall success. But that's the bad news, and this is an important thing to remember. It's not just about your self-perception. Yes, it's all about perception, but not your self-perception. It is how others see you through your actions, through your communication, and your value delivered. This is what defines your personal brand image. And that's really, really important. I do want to underscore it here. It doesn't matter what we think of ourselves. No, it does. It does for our self-worth and our self-perception. But it's more important what others think about us and how they see us. Do they see us as leaders? Do they see us as good in what we do? Do they see us as a leadership potential? If they don't, then we have a problem, no matter what we think about ourselves. Now, so what next then? If that's the case, and if we already have a personal brand and we haven't maybe thought about it so far because we were going with the flow, what can we do now? It's never too late to think about it and to make a next step. We can start today. So I'm going to present a couple of actionable strategies to how shall I put it? To take control of your personal brand, to see what it is, to understand what it is, and if you don't like it, or if it's not what you want it to be, to shape it the way you want. It all starts, and those of you who have been at my previous sessions know that I'm talking a lot about core values, strengths, and skills. This is where it all begins, and the leadership strengths. And don't worry, I will unpack all of those in a minute. Crafting your compelling, unique value proposition. I once wrote an article about a unique value proposition on LinkedIn, and then I got a feedback that people have no idea what UVP is. I don't believe it. I know people understand, even if they don't understand this particular abbreviation. But it's your unique value proposition, meaning what you, as you, are bringing to the table. You, no one else. What's unique to you? Optimizing your online presence, especially LinkedIn. So many times I'm talking about it because a lot of people don't or undervalue LinkedIn. People work on their optimizing their CVs and making sure that their CVs look great, because they, after all, CV is something that you send to the recruiters. But do remember, the recruiters oftentimes will not even see your CV, but they will always look you up on LinkedIn, always. So do start with your LinkedIn profile and make sure that your LinkedIn profile, and specifically the About section, projects your forward-looking image. Who you want to be, where you want to go. This is what your About section should be on LinkedIn. And this is, after all, your brand. Expand your professional network and build strategic relationships. We want you to be known and not to be the best kept secret. And for this, you want to have a broad professional network, strategically created and leveraged, and also nourished. You need to care about your strategic network. No matter how much we like it or we don't like it, that's the core of our success, professional success. And consistently create a good content to establish yourself as a thought leader. That's important, of course, as well. At the end of the day, at the very foundation of our brand is always our skills, our knowledge, the content, how good we are at what we do. I just want to say it's not enough. Okay, so these are the 5 steps which I'm going to unpack now. I want just us to stop here for a second and ask if there are any questions or comments. If not, I will carry on. And I can't see the chat, so maybe Frank said if there's... Yeah, go on, Nikki.
I just posted a question because I didn't want to interrupt you. And my question is related to the brand, of course. Would there be a bad personal brand, or would you have examples of that? Or will we talk about later? I don't want to, disrupt your structure.
No. Thank you for this question. Of course, there are bad personal brands. I think all of us know of people who would be associated with a bad personal brand. I know what your question is, Nikki. It's around the professional setting. I wanted to give you at the end an example of Marissa Mayer. Some of you may know her. She was a CEO of Yahoo. And I want to, okay, it's a good timing maybe to mention her because she was, this is an interesting example because she was once known as a very, very powerful and influential persona, and someone who was elevated to the highest possible level very, very early in her life, in her 30s. The way she managed Yahoo, the way she got to the position, everybody admired that. At some point, she started to position herself, and this is what I will be talking about later on, in a very consistent way. So the way she was, even the way she was, what she was wearing, the way she was presenting herself physically, like the type of wardrobe, was very, very consistent. So that this is what she was almost like associated with, and that was, to Nikki's question, to a point where all of a sudden her career started to crumble, and there were a lot of doubts in terms of the integrity of what she did and so on. So this was not necessarily continued, if you like. So that's what I wanted to share. I also know a couple of other examples or other names, which I wouldn't like to mention specifically at this meeting, but we know in politics, for example, we know leaders who are very powerful leaders in the world, but yet have a very poor personal brand because they are known as someone who is not necessarily, who doesn't have necessarily a great integrity about them, and still they are being, at the forefront of the political world. So everyone, I think the bad professional brand is everything which is not congruent, if you like. What we see does not match what we see does not match what this person is saying, for example, right? It's not consistent because it's all about consistency. I don't know if anybody has any more examples. I'm sure they have. You have much better examples than the ones that I was quoting. Go on. Who knows of someone who has a bad? Because you see, it's all about you either have no personal brand, and this is a bad way of saying it because everybody has a personal brand, but it can be a personal brand of, okay, she's an okay person, she's an okay employer, she does deliver, but she's not necessarily a leadership potential, so let's keep her because she does a good job. But is she going to be promoted? Is she going to be advanced and so on? Not necessarily. The question is it a bad personal brand? It's not an ideal personal brand unless someone wants to stay at this level and want to be an individual contributor who does a really good job and doesn't want to advance. Then it's perhaps a good personal brand. But if someone wants to advance, this brand is not enough. So then the question is it a bad personal brand? Perhaps yes.
Isabella,
yes.
I have a comment, if I may, to Nicolette's point. It's sometimes I don't even think it's a bad personal brand. I think it's about authenticity. What I've picked up a lot on LinkedIn is how people are lying and selling themselves. I'm really sorry to say this, but I would rather say it like it is. Okay, my LinkedIn was hacked, so I'm redoing it. So for all those that think LinkedIn can't be hacked, it can be. But I've noticed that some of the people that really post, and it's important to post, you know, on specific days, we all know that, and to keep it going. But if you are not being authentic and you're not actually a subject matter expert in one area, you will be found out. And I think then, Nicolette, to your point, that's when it becomes a bad, you know, sort of, personal brand. And because you've got to have a unique selling point, you know, what makes you unique and what do you stand out for, to your UVP point. But I find that people are embellishing and lying, and rather have one really compelling UVP rather than many and you're known for nothing. So I do find that that's happening a lot now. And especially with artificial intelligence, people are not really using their tone of voice. And I think people are picking up on that. So that was just my feedback and comment on that.
Thank you so much, because it's so very, very important. Thank you so much for bringing it up, because it's also important to this point about being present on LinkedIn. But there is a difference between being present and being present. So do be present as your authentic self, as Despo said, because you will be found out one way or another. And this is what can ruin the personal brand, even if it's a good personal brand. So that's an excellent example. Does anybody have more? Nikki, does it answer your question?
Yes, very much. Thank you, both of you.
So let's all think about more examples, and I will continue with that. Thank you so much for your contribution, both. Okay, so those are the actionable strategies. I want to talk to all of them a little bit now, just to unpack it. Uncover your leadership DNA, define your leadership brand. And I think this is what Despo was talking about. Who are you? That's your personal brand. What are your core values that guide your leadership approach? Is it integrity? Should be integrity, strategic vision, collaboration? What are your unique strengths that make you you and an exceptional leader, if that's what you want? Communication, influence, problem solving. And what experience have shaped your leadership journey? And I think this one is really, really important, because your experience, your life experience and your job experience is what differentiates you from everybody else. So do remember about that. Don't just limit your brand and the way you think about yourself to your role or what you do. Do leverage your experience, your experience in life, your experience in your professional life. And then on top of that is everything else. And this is what makes you unique you. So I will give you an example from my own world, where I have pivoted to coaching a couple of years ago, having been a coach and a mentor through my roles. And everybody is saying, like, yeah, this is a very crowded market. Like, everybody wants to be a coach and everybody is a coach. And it's because it's an unregulated market. Everyone can call themselves a coach. So there's a difference, because there are people who are certified, they have a certification in coaching, and some of them don't have certification in coaching, but no one actually checks it. It's not like being a doctor. But apart from that, people are saying that there are so many coaches. Why would you like to be a coach? When you look at the coaching industry, you will see that everyone, like, let's talk about the certified coaches, everybody is bringing different value proposition to the market. Like, even if they are all career coaches or executive coaches, if you like, what I'm, for example, bringing to the table and what I think differentiates me from others is my own unique career journey. So my 25 plus years in the financial services sector across the globe in executive positions. On top of that, I have my certification and my other skills, right? Plus my life journey as well. I'm a mother of 3 children and I've done it all being a mother and so on. So this is how I craft my own story. And this is what makes me different from others. Doesn't mean it makes me better. It makes me different. So if someone is looking for a coach with this particular experience and journey, they will choose me. If someone is looking for someone else, I don't know, with psychological background, for example, or a different background altogether, they will go for someone else. So I just wanted to let you know that it's very, very important what you are bringing to the table. Think about your career journey to date, because this is what differentiates you from others. And the experience, right? Mentorship, project management, negotiation, successes, it's all like in addition to what you do, to your defined roles. But it's very, very important. Yes, this lady, what does she say? So we're going back for a second to this unique value proposition. But because this is your elevator pitch, it's like your elevator pitch for the famous C-suite. Okay, so what makes you boardroom ready? So remember, we are talking about these actionable strategies. We are going through the actionable strategies. That's what I want you to know, because we can get lost in the agenda. We are talking about uncovering your leadership DNA and what makes you you. What is your unique value proposition? This is very, very important for your elevator pitch. What complex challenges do you solve for organizations? How do your leadership skills and experience differentiate from for your senior roles? This is what I have been talking about in just recently. And what specific value do you deliver to the bottom line? Now, it sounds busy, it sounds woolly, and it sounds like what? But then there is this question, what makes you, you, the combination of all of it? Let's unpack it. What complex challenges do you solve? So if you think about this elevator pitch, if you want to talk about yourself to others, what complex challenges do you solve? Do you increase revenues? Do you streamline operations? Are you good at crisis management? Like some of us, all of us are going through some crises always. So maybe we're all good at crisis management, people leadership, cost optimization, process improvement, digital transformation, you name it, right? So what is it that you are good at? Building diverse teams, for example. So there is, you see, there is hard competencies and soft skills. And of course there is more, because they are just examples. So that's one aspect. What complex problems do you solve? What specific value do you deliver? And do remember when you do your LinkedIn profile and your CV, quantify your achievements. Focus on metrics that directly impact the bottom line. A lot of times it's missing. It's missing from our CVs and documents. We go for, like, you know, those very generic descriptions. But the generic descriptions, I'm a problem solver who is I don't know what and very committed and so on. Everybody can say this about themselves, but you need to talk about you. So what have you delivered throughout your career? Use specific numbers, percentage, amounts, wherever possible, because this will be what differentiates you from others. You did this specific project at this level of the budget, right? And no one else did this particular one in this company at that time. Because that is what demonstrates this tangible value that you deliver. And this, of course, strengthens your personal brand as a high performer. So we have what complex problems do you solve? What is the specific value that you deliver? And do remember in your CV, it's very, very important. And people often ask me, what if I cannot reveal the budgets because it's confidential? So don't, but you can always mention the scale, multi-million-dollar budget. You don't need to do anything that you will be exposing you or the organization. Now, so what is the winning formula? You see, this could be as quick as that. I help whoever achieve this and that by leveraging my expertise in this and that. And the track record of, see how different it is from I help this and this achieve this and this by leveraging my proven expertise and my track record of good job. That would be very generic and very woolly. I have one example here, which is a made-up example. I empower insurance giants like Prudential and AIG to thrive by using data to manage risk. In my past roles, I've helped companies cut claims by 15%. That is your value proposition. Very, very tangible value proposition, which talks immediately about your achievements, your strengths as a leader, and there is something to prove it. Okay. So remember, when we were talking about the actionable plans, we talked about the value proposition, and this is your unique value proposition. What makes you you? Then we were talking about another aspect, which is the LinkedIn profile standing out for executive recruiters, headhunters, and others. I spoke about it so many times, but it's so very important that I want to bring it up again. Your headline, and it is all obvious. It's so very obvious, but when you go to LinkedIn and check people's profiles, all of a sudden it's not obvious. That you need to have a clear keyword-rich title that reflects your executive aspirations, and that's really, really important. Even if you are not at executive position now, your profile on LinkedIn has to show you as an executive. So you need to be showing yourself as if you were already where you want to go. It doesn't mean that you have to lie, not at all. Just be polished and have it all described the way that is very, very professional and forward-looking. Summary, which is the about section, write a compelling narrative that showcases your unique value proposition for senior leadership roles. Quantify your achievements. It's exactly what we are talking about, to demonstrate your impact on business growth. Don't be woolly. Don't say, I'm this high achiever, very passionate, and this and that. Everyone can say it about themselves, and it will be true. Will it mean anything? No. And yes, this is something that I'm guilty of. Recommendations, seek endorsements from senior executives, highlighting your leadership qualities. It's very, very important. It's an important part on LinkedIn. I am not using it as I should be. I promise myself every time I'm talking about it, I will come back to my recommendations section and I will make sure that it's good. But it's very important. It looks professional and looks good when you have a lot of recommendations. And it again proves what you have written in your LinkedIn sections. So that's one thing. Networking, we spoke about. Industry associations, connecting with peers and thought leaders, mentorship programs, and executive coaching, which helps elevate your leadership skills, speaking engagements. So I want to stop here for a second, because everybody is talking all the time about networking. We should be networking. But the networking is far beyond going to many meetings, conferences, and so on. I was at a really, really good meeting lately when there was a lady, and she was also a coach, although this meeting was not with coaches. She just happens to be a coach. And everybody who came in, me included, she was there at the door and she was giving everyone her business card. And I was wondering how this was working for her, because to me it was it looked a little bit weird and I couldn't see people making sense of it. So to me, meetings like that are not about telling people like, this is my business card and let's connect. It's for networking to be effective. Ideally, if you can, find out who will be participating in those meetings. Choose 1, 2, 3 at max people you want to connect with and make a genuine connection. Do follow up. Make sure it is a meaningful connection. Don't go for quantity, go for quality. And then we were talking about it earlier on in previous sessions. It's not about, this is what women are really, really good at, making connections and building, connections, meeting this person and that person and being outgoing and so on. But we are not good at nurturing those connections and leveraging those connections. We need to nurture those connections. So not just meet someone and connect with them on LinkedIn and meet for coffee and then forget about them and maybe remember about them when we need them. No, we need to do what men are really good at, do drop them a line, do meet with them again and again and again. Think of them when there are opportunities. So do give back, or it's two-way street. So nurture those connections, and when needed, leverage them. But be mindful that this person may need something from you too. And this is how we build meaningful connections. Speaking engagement, if you only can, this is something really, really wonderful. Be present on LinkedIn, I would say, and as Despo was saying, in a meaningful and authentic way. LinkedIn is a very, very good way of making connections. For example, you can post your own content. Only 4% of LinkedIn users apparently post fresh and original content. And I mean original, not reposting other people posts. So it is a really, really small number of people. A good way, so this is to develop your personal brand, but also a good way is to comment on other people's posts. If you want specifically to connect with someone, do engage with them on LinkedIn in a meaningful way. I'm talking about this LinkedIn all the time and networking, but I really think it's very, very important. Now, you're not going to like it, but image does matter. So I'm asked many times, like, does image matter and how much does it matter? And we don't want it to matter because we want to be ourselves. We don't want to be this corporate person and corporate outfit and so on. Yes, it does matter, no matter if we like it or not. And you know it yourself, because we are all judging people, unfortunately, but that's what happens, and we have no control over it immediately. We're immediately judging people by their looks anyway, especially in the corporate environment. So because first impression matters, if you're serious about it, you need to project professionalism and confidence through your appearance. And then again, what does it mean, Isabella? So dress for the role you want. It's ideal when you align your attire with your target audience and career goals. Like, it's the famous example that we will be dressing differently if we want to be if we are an artist, right? Or differently in the corporate setting, and differently, I don't know, if we work on the building site, right? Now, this sounds trivial, but it's important. But what I want to say, and I want you to remember that, and this is exactly why I put those two images here. And one is of this corporate lady who is very polished and very corporate looking, and the other one is this lady with this beautiful bag, colorful and so on, and with her in her, like sports shoes. Authenticity is key. Be your polished self and not a persona, someone else. If you don't like this corporate look, don't force yourself into a corporate look. But be polished, have your style, and know why you're having this style. Be consistent. There are people who are very consistent in terms how they what they wear. Like, I know, again, a coach who always wears a green t-shirt. Green is his color, and this is what he wears all the time, right? That's how he wants to be known, as someone in this green t-shirt. Now, he's known for many other things, really, really good, but also this one. You don't need to be pretending you are someone you are not. Again, at one of those meetings I managed I mentioned that I do know a couple of women, very, very high profile, excellent in what they do, who don't conform to this corporate look, are very colorful and have their own style. Fine, it's all good. Unless you cannot, because you have some dress code, which you have to observe. But do be yourself. Do be polished. Do remember, people will be judging you by the looks. And of course, I mentioned this, and I will again. Your skills and accomplishments are your true brand and brand foundation. What you know, who you are, is the most important thing. And then image matters, but it's a secondary thing. I will stop here for a second because I know people are using their chat and I can't see it. Does anybody have any question at this point? Or Frances, is there anything in the chat that I should know of? If not, I will continue. No? Okay, I will go on then. So remember this image thing. So now, how about you? How about you? What do you think? How do you feel about your personal brand? What do you think it is? What do you think others are thinking of you? And maybe at this point you will be wondering, like, why I should care what others think about me. I don't want to care what they think about me. No, yeah, don't. But if you want to advance in your career, you need to be mindful of the fact that people are and will be judging you, because they will have to make a decision about your career. For example, should you be promoted? Should you not? And on what basis? So people will be having all kinds of ideas of who you are. And then again, as I said, you can take control over it by, first of all, trying to sit down and think, like, what do I think? How do I think I'm perceived by people? What is my brand? What is out there? And I do encourage you to ask for feedback. Ask for one word they can describe you, or a 360, or whatever you want, because there's a lot of tools. And find out, because what we think, people think of us, is not necessarily always what it is. And your peers, it's important what they think of you, but it's even more important what your senior stakeholders think of you, how they see you. Do they see you as a leadership potential? And if they don't, then no matter what you think, it's not going to happen. I heard once one of my senior leaders saying that someone will not be promoted until the stars align. That's what they said. The stars align. What does it mean? Everything will come together. So when this person will be ready, but not when they think they will be ready, but when everybody else thinks they will be ready. So do think about it. About it. I do encourage you, if you were to remember only one thing from this presentation, please, at your free time, at lunch or wherever, think about your brand now. Are you happy with it? If you are, fantastic, continue like that. Are you not? If you are not, in what aspects are you not happy with it? And then make a plan, work on it. Or if you don't know, again, go back and ask people. Don't be surprised. Consider coaching to gain clarity. I love that one, because oftentimes people simply draw a blank and don't know. We all have a tunnel vision about ourselves and the world. And sometimes it's much easier for someone else to step in and give us a bigger perspective. Coaching is one thing, feedback from others is another thing. Your accountability buddy, what I was talking about so many times, is important as well. In any case, solicit feedback and have a plan. So that's almost the end of it. What I wanted to say here is, own your career, not only your career as such, but also your career narrative. Do take control over what others think and say about you as much as you can. Because there's this famous saying which says, we can't control what people think of us, but we can control what we make of it, or how we will react. And this is very, very, very true. But do be aware that people are judging you all the time, and especially in this career context. That's what it's important. Take action, start crafting your executive brand today, and build a brand that reflects your strength and ambition. It's important, because not all of us want to be, I don't know, CEOs. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't care. The C-suite awaits for you. So do remember, again, I want to say at the end, at some point, it doesn't matter that much what you know. It matters how others perceive you. and how you are political savvy, how you can manage the office politics and navigate the complex stakeholder relationship. Do own your personal brand. If you don't, others will. This slide I'm showing always at the end of my presentation. So those of you who are here every week know that this is the end. Career planning is an ongoing process. It is important to remain proactive and intentional about your growth and your development. Do it, otherwise someone else will, or it will simply happen. Now, are there any questions? Thank you so much. It is 9 minutes to the top, or 7 minutes to the top of the hour. And I will have a look at the chat, and please let me know if you have any questions. Ladies, are you there? Is anybody out there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I have this issue with my headset somehow.
Asha, hello.
Yeah, trying to also switch my camera on. My
Do.
computer is not listening to me.
Yeah, it happened to me, you know, when I was logging in for this session, 2 minutes to the top of the hour, my computer decided to reboot.
Ah, okay.
Everything stopped. When I was, you know, looking at the camera and getting ready and thinking like this is all good, all of a sudden everything shut down. Anyway, Asha, go on.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for the session. I didn't have any particular question.
Okay, very good.
For
Thank
now.
you so much. Yes, and do think about it. And if you have any questions, let me know. I think
I do have one
yeah.
question to the previous sessions. Is it possible to get replays from the previous ones?
Yeah, I will send you thanks if we can share the. I have a YouTube channel now. Would you believe?
Oh, okay, great.
Recordings, and there are, I think, 5 are already there. I apparently have a couple of subscribers as well, which my teenage son said it was appalling to have a couple of subscribers. It's really a shame. But anyway, so do subscribe so I have more subscribers, and all the recordings will be there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Agnieszka, you were saying that your boss keeps saying that green is the color of hope every time you wear something green. That's really nice. That's really cool. And yeah, and Despo shared her thoughts about networking, wasting time in conferences exactly, and networking events where the audience was not targeted. Yeah. That's exactly what Despo is saying. Now I'm more succinct and practice targeted networking. Absolutely. As I was saying, targeted networking. Otherwise, it will be just time, you know, maybe not necessarily well spent. You will go have some lunch maybe with people, but if you look back, there will be no meaningful connection. So targeted networking, as Despo called it, is a very, very good way of looking at it. Do try and find if there is someone you want to connect with. If there is no way to find who you want to connect with in advance of this meeting, do be vigilant at the meeting and find someone who you want to connect with, 1 or 2 people, and be consistent at it. Okay.
Isabella, I managed to postpone the call by a few minutes, but I just wanted to say something on networking, which I learned. So I'm a C-suite leader, and I decided to resign due to my mother's health and my own health. I had burnout. And one of the things that I did learn is when you network and you go to everything, you get nothing accomplished. So be very targeted, be very specific, and don't just go to your industry. So if you're in the HR field, don't just go to HR events, because that's not going to get you your next position. It's not going to get you that network. So I'm also a non-executive director on advisory boards. You have to connect with people that are CEOs, different functional areas, pick your companies. So that's just a piece of advice that I wanted to give people, because I learned it the hard way. And also networking is also about leveraging, like you said, because I think men are much better than women. And the golf course is a very good place to start as well, ladies. So I just thought I'd share that with the ladies in the room, and I know there are also men in the room.
Despo, thank you so much because
What
it's
about
so,
drinking
so
beer in
important.
Europa, Ella?
It could be different for different countries, you know, but I know I'm not really much of a golfer, but attending some events, you know, where you know that there's going to be specific people would be a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, absolutely, Despo, and that's very, very important. I really like your comment about networking outside of your industry. This is really, really important to go broader. And as you said, this is what we don't do because we are, especially we women, we are afraid to reach out to senior people. Do reach out to senior people. What worse can happen? If you reach out to a CEO or someone else on LinkedIn, don't go to recruiters only, because recruiters are not the ones who make the decision at the end of the day. And what worse can happen? Nothing. Like at the end of the day, if they don't respond to you, do follow up. If they don't, again, then reach out to someone else.
Yes.
But we need to be braver. Thank you, ladies. Despo, thank you so much for your contribution. Asha, Nikki, everybody else, thank you so much, Agnieszka. And I do invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel since it already exists. And do come over to my next session next week, same time, same place.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
day.
Isabella.
Everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.